The knife slipped in my hand, not from clumsiness, but from shock. My phone buzzed on the counter, vibrating against the marble like it was nervous to deliver the message. I wiped my palms on a dish towel and read it once, then again. My mother's words were neat, polite, final. "You'll need to cancel the party. Your sister needs you to cater her event that day." The kitchen smelled like sugar and butter. Blue frosting sat in a bowl, waiting to be spread on a cake shaped like a spaceship. My son's spaceship. I stared at it while my heart recalibrated around a new truth. I hadn't agreed. I hadn't even been asked. In the other room, my son laughed at something on TV, pure, unaware. That was the moment something inside me locked into place, and I knew nothing in this family would survive what came next. I was the reliable one, the fixer, the one who brought extra chairs, baked the desserts, smoothed over arguments with a smile that cost me more than it showed. My sister was the opposite. Loud needs, endless celebrations, a life staged for applause. My mother orbited her like gravity, convinced that chaos meant importance. My son was 9. He'd asked for one thing: his cousins, a cake, and a sleepover. No venue, no spectacle, just us. I planned it anyway because he deserved more than crumbs from someone else's table. I sent invites, I bought decorations, I worked extra shifts to afford the cake with the edible stars he loved. Every detail was a promise to him that I would not fail the way others had failed me. When my mother banned the party, she didn't mention my son once. She spoke only of my sister's stress, her deadlines, her vision. I remember staring at the text, waiting for the part where she apologized. It never came. That night, I listened more than I spoke. I replayed old conversations in my head, noticing patterns I'd ignored. How my sister announced her needs like declarations, how my mother enforced them like law. I thought about all the times I'd been flexible, all the times my son's schedule bent around someone else's spotlight. When I told my mother we wouldn't be catering anything, she sighed, not with anger, with disappointment, as if I had finally failed a test she'd been quietly grading my whole life. That's when the silence changed shape. I looked around our apartment, half-packed boxes from a move we'd postponed, passports in the drawer, money I'd been saving just in case. I felt the ground shift, not with panic, with clarity. I found the rest by accident, or maybe instinct. A group chat I wasn't meant to see. Screenshots forwarded by a cousin who didn't realize the damage she was doing. She'll cave, she always does. It's just a kid's party. This event is more important. My son's birthday had been discussed like a scheduling inconvenience, a footnote. I sat on the edge of my bed, phone heavy in my hand, reading every word. My chest burned, but my face stayed calm. That scared me more than the anger ever could. I walked into the living room and watched my son sleep, his hand curled around a stuffed astronaut. His faith in me was absolute. I promised him something. Then, silently, irrevocably, I didn't argue. I didn't explain. I didn't announce anything. I packed. Only essentials: clothes, documents, the spaceship cake recipe folded and tucked into my bag like a relic. By morning, we were gone. No forwarding address, no goodbye message. I left my phone on the counter, powered off like a severed line. We moved somewhere quiet, somewhere anonymous. I took a different job. My son started a new school. I learned his favorite coffee order. He learned to ride a bike without training wheels. We became lighter. A year passed like a held breath finally released. I let them wonder. Silence became my signature. The reunion happened by chance, a grocery store parking lot. My sister's voice sharp with disbelief. She saw us before she saw her. My son was laughing, taller, confident, talking about a science fair he'd won. Her smile froze, cracked. My mother arrived minutes later, eyes glassy with relief. Questions spilled out, accusations disguised as concern. I answered none of them. At the family gathering weeks later, the truth detonated. My sister unraveled first. She cried about abandonment, about betrayal, about how hard her year had been without me. Then my son spoke, calm, clear. He talked about his new friends, his room, his life. He didn't mention her. The silence after was surgical. My mother finally understood what loyalty had cost her. My sister couldn't stand that she was no longer the center of anything. Her meltdown was operatic, loud, exposing, every selfish demand aired in public. I watched, steady as stone. The power had shifted, and everyone felt it. We left early. In the car, my son hummed softly, staring out the window. I realized my hands weren't shaking anymore. Justice isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the absence of you where they expected obedience.